Hey, you guys, welcome to Melissa Valentine's Nursery. My name is Melissa, and today we are on episode 6. Episode 6, moving right along. Of enjoying our reborns, right? Now, I don't know if anybody has, taken advice of any of the previous series. If you have, let me know. I always try to make series that something you could walk away with, something that you might get new ideas or learn, or that might help you in your journey with reborns. And the whole point of this series is to kind of deter us from making those impulsive purchases. So sometimes there are reborns that we honestly we know we want. I've always wanted a Queen Bee. And there's always been that want for that teddy in the back of my mind. But so of course, there's that exception when there's that one doll that you've been wanting that comes along and you're like, hold up, I've got to get this. Now, I made this, I wanted enough to be in the camera so you could see him as well. So who do I have here? And there's a reason I have him here. This is the Emmy sculpt. He was painted and his eyelashes were rooted, not his hair. His eyelashes were rooted by Daisy Elam, E-L-A-M. Daisy's Reborn Nursery on Reborns.com. She actually painted his head. But I prefer rooted babies, so I rooted him. I rooted him to the best of my ability. Some of it's mono rooted, some of it's not. He still looks cute. He looks cute. But there is a reason he is on this video. So we are on R. And R today, I didn't tell you what I named him. I named him Mikey. His name's Mikey. He's the only cuddle baby that I have. He is newborn size. And he's here for a particular look. He's like, Mom, put me down. So we are on R of our Reborns series, right? Episode 6, reinventing and rediscovering. Reinventing and rediscovering. So for a lot of you, this video may be more of a challenging one, because this one has to do with altering our reborns. And I know some of you are very scared to do that. But you got to remember, and I know we paid a lot for our dolls, but you got to remember they're dolls. You're not going to hurt them. You're not going to hurt them. So there are tons of videos on altering our dolls. There's tons of videos on painting dolls, rooting dolls. There's videos. There are Google websites, rooting, painting, air dry paints, heat set paints. And those are large endeavors. Now, then you have, adding polyfill, adjusting for the weight, glass beads. Don't put dirt in your dolls. Don't put sand in your dolls. I don't prefer that. I like my dolls to last, and I like it to be done the right way. So all my dolls either have poly pellets or glass beads. And I was buying luxury polyfill, but with these times, I'm not doing that no more. Okay, I just buy polyfill from Michael's and stuff. All right, you guys. So things I wanted to address. So for me personally, when I first got into the hobby, I started painting dolls. I was painting them. I was learning. I was getting better. I had Genesis heat set paints. This is before they went out of business and stuff. So I was feeling courageous enough to take the chances with these dolls. And I figured, hey, as everybody else does who decides to paint, I could paint my own dolls. I don't need to buy. It doesn't matter. It doesn't happen, because irregardless, what do we wind up doing? Yeah, we paint, but then we see a baby we like and we wind up going ahead and we wind up buying a baby anyway. That's just how it goes. Oh, I'm going to buy paints and blah, 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 blah. And then you're sitting on this baby painting, and you're at first you're like painting hardcore. Like you're like, yeah. I even had a Reborns.com account. I had business cards made. I was like, oh, I'm going to be like Miss Painter. I have a creative streak in me anyway. So after a while, life got busy and that went to the wayside. I had dolls sitting on my table, just nothing happening. But instead, I was still buying dolls. So if you can do air dry paints, and that might be a little easier way to paint. But so, if you're really, if you don't have a lot going on and you're really set on painting, we can also alter our dolls. I have been known. So this one specifically, I'm learning to root. I have rooted many dolls, like not many, but like the ones that I've sold, I've rooted, I don't know, let's say less than 10. We'll say 10, which is a lot for me because it takes forever. So I rooted this one here recently. You have not seen him for a while because now he does have a painted head. So I lightly rooted him, because I didn't want him to have a lot of hair, because if he had a lot of hair and then the dark color, So I rooted him, and, so for me, I love babies with hair. So I gave him hair, and he does have like the baby lanugo on his forehead. I don't know if you could see it, but, I wanted to enhance him. I wanted to reinvent him, rediscover him. I wanted to rebond with him. I'm not big on cuddle babies, you guys. Cuddle babies are not my cup of tea, typically. I know my friend Sandra loves them. I know a lot of you absolutely love them. So I rooted him so that there would be more appeal. Now, from his nose down reminds me of my son Joseph when he was little. The Emmy sculpt has that same essence from here down for Joseph when Joseph was first born. Like that was literally Joseph. So I wanted to capture this better, and I wanted to give him hair. He's a cute little baby. I still struggle with the fact, like I don't want to get rid of him, but I do struggle with the fact that he is a cuddle baby. And that's my struggle. So I'm still finding ways to create this bond stronger. And like, I know he looks like the bottom half looks like my son, and he's a cute little baby, that he's not like hyper realistic or anything, but he's just very cute. His cuddle body, I did not alter it in any way. It's the same body that he came with. However, I love my babies' heads to be heavy. Something about the heavy heads, like you have to support them. You don't have no choice but to support these heads. I loaded his head with glass beads. Like his head falls back. Like his head is heavy. Oh, I'm losing everything here. So, when I put his head back on, I guess I didn't put look, it's still sticking out. I never finished. I guess I got sidetracked. You guys, my ADHD gets so bad and I lose track of what I'm doing. And, so anyway, so this is a baby that I reinvented, to establish a better bond. And you can buy, you can watch videos on rooting if you have time. I use a 42 gauge rooting needle. You can find them on Amazon. And you can also get them from your baby making supply people like Bountiful Baby or McPherson's, Reborns. I think Reborns too. So, and the hair, I was buying all sorts of hair. I have bought hair from mohair from Amazon, which I did not like. It was very woolly. I have bought what claims to be human hair, and I didn't care for it. So I got the ruby hair from Bountiful Baby, and a lot of people don't like that one. You got to be careful, they say, because the dyes in the hair might like come out on the clothes. I haven't had that problem. I saturate my baby's hair when I comb them. Sandra's always like, my friend Sandra's like, why do you do that? I said, I don't know. I just do. I just do. It's me. It is what it is. So I root my babies to establish more of that connection, because I know that I favor my rooted babies more than anything. I love my rooted babies. Little by little, my collection is becoming more rooted over time. In fact, let me put this little bunker down for a minute. In fact, my Olivia, made by April Self, I am actually, she's the Felicity sculpt. She's done very well. She's done by April Self. April Self painted her hair, but I have started to root her with light hair. So she's going to have like a brownish hair. I'm not perfect with rooting, by no means, not at all. But I'm getting better. And if the hair is what gets me closer to my babies, then that's what gets me closer to my babies. So I feel like, I don't know, I feel like they feel more real with the rooted hair to me. They are more maintenance. You have to actually comb, use a little toothbrush. You can either use conditioner like that you use in your hair, cut down with some water, and mix that in a spray bottle and use that on your babies. Or I buy this. I bought other ones too, but this is what I'm currently using. You can get it on Amazon. So for me, rooting, I still have my rooting needles. I use 42 gauge, and I root my babies. I don't think I'm going to root my Ruby Awake. I paid a lot of money for her. I'd rather have her sent off to somebody who would be willing to root my baby. And I would love to have my Sal and my John, my Sammy Joe, and my Quinlan rooted, because those would be the last two that need rooted. But I would want to send them off. But I think I'll just leave them for now. So this, I'm rooting her. And so that's just something that I do. It helps me establish more of a bond with my babies. And that's one way that, and like I said, you don't have to do that. That's just something that I do. And you have to be brave. These babies are not cheap. I actually started with babies that I painted myself. I started with three Donna Rupert kits, the Sweetie Sculpt. I started with those. I rooted 2 of those, and I painted one. I will never paint hair again. I mean, I actually painted the hair. I didn't use a Prisma pencil or nothing. I painted them, and that was a disaster. That would never happen again. So that's, reinventing, rediscovering our babies in a way, in that particular way. Now, another way that we can rediscover our babies, and I think I've mentioned this before. This is my ever so precious Alyssa Sculpt. It's my Alyssa Sculpt. She is the most precious newborn reborn that I have. She was the first one that I ever had, ever. And she doesn't get a lot of showtime because I'm scared of destroying her. She's had a lot of shiny spots before, and I am really trying to take care of her and preserve her. I've had her, she is my oldest reborn here. It's going on 3 years now. So let's say you have reborns that are getting shiny. She had shiny knuckles. She had shiny fingertips. She had, even her face was shiny. Her feet were getting shiny. When I first got her, she was the only one that I had for months and months and months and months. And I changed her all the time. Like, I literally changed her every day. And she was always on my couch. She was always on my bed. At the time when my husband was here with me, he would pick her up and carry her around the house. I believe he even changed her a time or two. And, you know, with her, she just got shiny. And then after they get shiny, they start having rub off. Depending on how much varnish the artist had put. She is a heat set painted baby. So I did my research, and I used a air dry varnish on her, using a makeup wedge. You can either use it plain as it is, or you can pluck it out for more of a textured look. And you only want to put a very, very thin layer on your babies. Now, I'm not responsible for your babies, but let's say you have that one baby that you love so much, and that baby's starting to get shine. And sometimes when our babies have imperfections, that can really hurt our bond. With the baby I just showed you, when she started getting shiny, I was like, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? Like, I love this baby. What am I going to do? And I found options. So Liquitex acrylic varnish. It's in a white bottle. Let me see if I can get it for you. Hold on one sec. I have to go get it. Hold on, you guys. I'm a hot mess. Hold on. I meant to get this stuff before I started my video, and I did not. I'm coming, you guys. I'm coming, I'm sorry. This is called being unprepared, right? Okay. Now I gotta set my camera just right. Okay. So, I use on her, I've got everything everywhere, you guys. Let me fix this a little bit. I had it leaning down so you can see little Mikey when I started my video. Okay. So this right here, Liquitex, I actually bought this one off of Amazon. You could probably go to your local craft store. I don't know. But this is what I use. Liquitex acrylic mediums, ultra matte medium. This is an air dry product. I use a makeup wedge, and I have varnished her twice in 3 years. Remember, in the very beginning, I changed her all the time. You only want, if you want to preserve the way your doll was, right? You only use a small portion. Just a very small portion and go over it. Wait for it to dry. See if that's the results you want. And then you go back over again if you need to. Now, saying that, the main color of this stuff is, well, look at this. I popped it open and got it on me. I'm varnishing my clothes. Okay, so the main color is white. It looks like white Elmer's glue. So you got to be mindful in the fact that when you varnish your doll, make sure that layer is thin. It will dry clear, see-through. But if you do put more layers, that will start giving a dry skin effect. Now, I did use this on the only doll I've used it on is my Alyssa sculpt. And so I did put a little extra on her cheeks just to, I wanted to give her a little dryness. You know, like some babies have like that little bit of fuzz, like that little bit, you know, I wanted to establish that with her. I don't think you could see it. Yeah, I don't think you could see it. But so she has that. I did that. And her her hands. Like this baby, I'm telling you what, she is not going to need varnishing for a minute. So I want to preserve her. I love her to death. I love her to death. She is just amazing. She is just simply amazing. I got her from Natalie Fakebridge, Precious Reborns Nursery. This right here, you know, she's not $1,000 bells and whistles doll, but this is my bonko. This one's never going anywhere. This one means a lot to me. It's my Adelaide. So that's what I use on her. Like I said, some people fall out of bond with their baby. Some people fall out of bond with their babies. So we have to do, when they start to tear, like not, if they're getting shiny or if their paint comes off or something like that, we're like, okay, let's get rid of it. I had bought I can't remember the sculpt. I purchased a baby that had rub off on its fingers, and I didn't think it would bother me. He was very cute. He was my Lennox. I named him Lennox. And I can't do it. I couldn't do it. The rub off, I couldn't do it. And you couldn't see it because it was the fingertips. But I sold him to one of my viewers. But I just cannot establish that bond with that baby. If there is something with that baby that just, I just couldn't do it. I mean, the baby's cute, but it's not for my nursery. Like, and I know that sounds like a bitchy thing to say, but we have preferences in this hobby. We do. We have preferences. So, this is an option to keep our babies around, keep that bond, and maintain them. Another thing I would like to bring up is paper glaze. The Country Cottage used this when she was doing something to one of her dolls. And I use this on this baby in the corners of you only need a little bit. Corner, in the nose a little bit, and then the mouth. And I actually used a brush for the mouth. And I just did a little drop. And then I used a brush for the mouth. So, I've had a doll where this was actually over, I'm poking myself in the eye. It was over the eye. I think the eyes were acrylic. They were over the eyes to create that like wet eye look. I'm not scared to experiment with a lot of my babies. I would be scared to experiment with my Laura sculpt and my Ruby Awake. But for some reason, the other ones, I'm not too scared to, I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just that confident. But I feel like sometimes adding our own touches can create that bond that's more special, and we can enjoy our dolls better that way. Who else have I used this on? I used this on somebody else. It might have been a baby that I had sold. I might have used this on my Jenny Awake that I sold to Mama Cheryl, Kalela's Precious Ones. Yes, I think I also used this on her. So this is a very good product. Creates tears, creates spit. It dries very wet, like it looks wet, shiny. So this is a good product to use. What else can we do to reinvent and rediscover our reborns, right? Glass beads, weighting. I love the heads to fall back. When I got her, she was my first reborn. I didn't know too much about reborns. And in comparison to every other baby that I had gotten in the past, she was very light. She was like 4 pounds, maybe. But since then, it took me a while, but I went ahead and I stuffed her differently. I added her more stuffing because her stuffing over time kind of got wore out because I was always holding her and stuff. And I added more glass beads, and then in her head, more fine glass beads. You can get glass beads. Actually, they sell the weighted poly pellets at Michael's, I know for sure. And they might sell them at Hobby Lobby. I'm pretty sure they do. But they're plastic, and they are not, I believe they're plastic, and they're not as heavy as the glass beads. So it'll require more. You just use a funnel, whatever, put it in some pantyhose, tie it off, and stick it where you want the weight in your body. So I have a pantyhose in her. I think I got 2 of them in her body. And then there's one in her head. Now, when you put the pantyhose in the head, and then you empty the beads into the pantyhose that's already in her head so you can get it in. And then you tie it off from outside her head and push it in. And then you use polyfill, put it in, and then that's it. But where you put that weight in the head tells you where the weight's going to fall. I tend to put the hose in the back of the head, the pantyhose in the back of the head, so that the head falls back. And then I always put one towards the butt and towards the center of the body. And then, of course, you polyfill it up. Glass beads are always on the ends of my babies, and then filled up with polyfill. Like I said, I used to buy the expensive polyfill, but I just start buying a regular polyfill. I'll go to Hobby Lobby or Michael's and just get whatever when I need it. But my glass beads, I do have, now I have quite a bit from Bountiful Baby if I ever need to, alter my dolls. So, because, when we do buy dolls on that occasion I take them apart and I alter them. They'll never be exactly the way we want them. And I feel like a lot of our bonds have to do with how we, as collectors, prefer the weighting too. That makes a difference. A lot of people look at us collect dolls, they think we're crazy. But then they'll pick up the doll and they'll say, oh my God, the doll has that weight, that real feeling. You know what I'm saying? So like I say, adjust the weight in your babies, the weight in the head, the weight in the body. There are so many videos. You have to buy the ties. I forgot what they're called. Oh my God. During a video, I forget. I always call them cable ties, but they're not cable ties. The little ties. Google it. So yeah, they hold the neck on for the baby and the limbs on the baby. So it's really not that hard to take our babies apart and put them back together. I have seen people do videos saying that they don't have a bond with the baby because the baby's too heavy. They don't have a bond because the baby's too light. Folks, just look it up. It's nothing but a tie that goes around the neck and some polyfill and some beads. It's something that you can adjust. I promise you, I've done all my babies. I am not a super artist. You can do this. You can do this. We live in a world that is now very expensive, and we have to do a lot of things on our own, So, sometimes reinventing our babies is rediscovering them. And now just recently, and this wasn't even a part of my notes, just recently, I watched a video of an artist that said a collector that said they had lost the bond with their baby completely. And it was a shame because, that baby wasn't exactly that baby was still new in their nursery. They loved the baby when they got the baby. And then all of a sudden the bond just, the newness was over. It was just another baby, and they couldn't believe how fast the excitement was over with that one. So what they did was they wrapped the baby up in a blanket and they put the baby in the closet, and they left the baby there for a little while, and they forgot about the baby. But then they got baby fever again, and they took the baby out of the closet and they gave the baby a whole new identity. They literally renamed the baby and everything, and they love that baby again. And I thought that was something that you guys can do. If maybe there's a baby that you're not bonding with anymore, put the baby away. Put the baby away, take the baby out, and look at it through different eyes later, whenever you're ready. So, yeah, I just wanted to touch base with you guys and, you know, say, there's other ways. You don't have to go out and buy a new baby. If you lose a bond, or if you feel like that baby isn't what it was, you can adjust and, figure it out. You can figure out new ways with the babies. So I hope I gave you guys some really good tips on our episode 6. All right, you guys, I love you guys so much. Like, subscribe, comment, share. If you are not subscribed, please subscribe. I like to keep my viewers who are subscribers higher than my just normal viewers, because like you could see in your analytics who the viewers that are not subscribed versus the viewers that are subscribed, and sometimes they get out of whack. If you guys watch me a lot, subscribe. Check and see if you're subscribed. I know YouTube weeks ago had unsubscribed me from people I watch all the time. I'm like, why? Why are you unsubscribing me? That's why they weren't popping up on my algorithm, probably. So anyway, you guys, I love you guys so much. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Thank you for joining me today. Bye, you guys. Till next time.